enforcement violations. The hearings are quasi-judicial. I am the special magistrate appointed to hear these cases. Formal rules of evidence do not apply, but fundamental due process shall be observed. Everyone who has a case today will have an opportunity to present testimony. You may present evidence or witnesses to testify on your behalf. There is no public comment portion. Everything today is being recorded, and all testimony will be under oath. When you are sworn in, please provide your current mailing address so any orders get to the correct address. The city will present its case first, and information will be displayed on the screens. Documents may be provided by the city as evidence. The city's PowerPoint presentation will be entered into evidence unless objections are made. Today, I have a very limited time for hearings today, so I wanted to go ahead and try to get the hearings of the people who have appeared. So we'll go out of order of the agenda, if that's okay with the city, and start with the cases for those who have appeared. So at this point, let's go ahead and swear in any witnesses who are going to testify. If you're going to testify for your own case, can you please raise your right hand? Do you swear or affirm? If you're going to testify, go ahead and raise your hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? All right. Let's go ahead and take the people who came in first.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. Case number is 23-07.
It's hard to hear the judge.
1660 Yorktown Avenue, and the inspector is Frank Lewis, and he's here and prepared to present his case.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
First off, I'd like to enter into evidence the notice of hearing, notice of violation, and a cost recovery statement.
Okay.
Again, this is case number 2307. Initial inspection was June the 7th of 2022. Date given to comply was 6/22/2022. We mailed certified and first-class letters on the 8th to the respondents. Certified mail was delivered on 6/11 and signed for by the owner. Notice of hearing was posted on the 3rd of January at City Hall and on the property where violations exist. Certified mail and first-class mail is mailed on 1/3/23 also. This is a case where a freestanding carport with a metal roof and open sides was constructed on the property without a permit. The carport extends into the front setback, so a permit could not be issued unless a variance was approved to allow the construction. There's been no permit issued. The structure still remains in violation after denial of variance was requested on July 29th, 2022 at the Board of Adjustment and Appeals regular scheduled meeting. The property owner has been in contact with me, both owners, and they have contacted the company that erected the carport with no success. And I suggested they contact Development Services staff about applying for the variance, which they did. They applied for it and went to the hearing. And the Board of Appeals, Adjustments and Appeals denied the variance. They said that was no special conditions or circumstances for the property, and that was rather it was created by the applicant. A little bit of background on this. This is from the community development staff analysis, what they base their opinion on.
I can't read that.
Huh?
I can't read that.
You can't read that? Okay.
You can give me the highlights.
Okay. The applicant was requesting a variance to allow the detached carport. It is not attached to the house, as you'll see in just a minute. Like I said, it did not have a permit, and the property, the plat was approved in 86, consistent with an 82 plan unit development rezoning, which was 44-1982. And in 93, the property was rezoned to a R-1B/plan unit development. Those development standards for the 1982 PUD continue to be in effect. That requires an 18-foot setback between any one-story building and the public right-of-way upon a road designed for limited vehicular traffic, such as a cul-de-sac or a dead-end type street, which it is a dead-end street. Like I said, the structure is located 10 feet from the Yorktown Avenue public right-of-way. They also stated, in addition, the freestanding structure in the front yard conflicts with section 28-391F of the code. Accessory structures shall not be located in the front yard except for one detached landscape feature, arbor, or trellis. They also stated there does not appear to be any hardship to permit the carport in the front yard. The house was originally constructed with an attached garage, which does meet the minimum setbacks. And that is actually the document from the Board of Appeal and Adjustment, where they denied it. They denied it 5-0, 5 unanimous. This is the property now. It's at the corner of Yorktown and Valley Forge. That is the survey from 2010. And you'll see right there in the front next to the caption down at the bottom is the Yorktown side. I mean, yes, ma'am, the Yorktown side. And the carport is a 15-by-24-by-7, which just shows where it is. It comes almost out to the back of the sidewalk on the driveway. As you can see here, we should get you a little bit bigger. They did go down and try to apply for a permit, and that was where it started running into the problems. They did try. Another picture from the side. Another angle. This is looking up Yorktown Road. Conclusion, the property remains in violation of 656, construction permit required. We recommend that the board order, that the recommendation is the violation be corrected on or before 3/13/23 to comply. In order to correct the violation, they must obtain a permit or remove the structure from the property. Order administrative costs in the amount of $110.92 to be assessed. And if they do not comply by 3/13/23, it's requested that a fine of $50 per day be imposed for each day the violation continues. I did talk to the Robbins one day last week, and they have stated that they do want to, are going to remove the structure.
But as of today, they have not, is that
No,
correct?
ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone who'd like to come up and testify?
I didn't know we saw these. There's a picture.
I need you to go to the podium, please, and give me your name and your address.
Okay, sorry.
That's okay.
Joe Robbins and Jerry Robbins, my husband, 1660 Yorktown Avenue, Titusville, Florida.
Jonah didn't got those, or they had them just up.
I was showing them to her if she wanted to look at them. And here's the thing, we've been advertising it for anybody that's interested. There are some people that are interested, but we did tell them, if you live in the city of Titusville, you can't put it up in your front yard unless you get a permit.
Well, they're not gonna get a permit.
Okay, so, you don't dispute that you weren't able to get a permit for this, right?
Right.
You weren't able to get a
I did
permit.
the variance and they wouldn't approve. And so somebody told me after that, one thing you could consider, if you attach it and cut it down 4 feet, it might be approved. but we don't know if we wanna go through it and pay all the money and get there, and that board tell us the same thing, no,
I don't blame you, because I don't know that that would work, but that's not
I don't either.
up to me, but it's pretty big.
Yeah, and the thing is the garage is too small for our truck. Our truck will not fit in it, it's too small.
Right.
And we were wanting to do it to protect our truck. It's the main reason why we did it. In fact, before they had the meeting last year, they said, give this to all your neighbors, and then they polled the neighborhood, and none of them came forward and complained. And we had so many people that came by and said, we love it. And of course, we didn't know you needed a permit at the time when we went through the company that installed it for us.
Mm.
But anyhow, we paid $5,000 for it, and we were telling people, hey, we'll take as little as $2,000, and they're interested, but they can't. Most of the people that come to us have been in this city.
Yeah, 4 out of 5.
And we know there's about 14 in our neighborhood
Right, John.
that are not legal.
Mm-mm.
But we don't wanna take pictures and show them, because we don't want people to go after our neighbors.
John.
Understood. Understood. Well, generally, I don't know how this one was initiated, but oftentimes these are initiated by complaints. Sometimes they're
Yeah.
initiated just by the code officers
It got-
driving
It
through.
got initiated by a neighbor.
Yeah.
It was turned in by a neighbor.
Yeah. Well, okay, I've looked at your pictures and it basically confirms that
John,
it's a
stay
pretty
back
large
here.
structure. I don't see any dispute that it's a violation.
Right.
I think at this point, it's just a matter of when can you get it removed? Because you've already tried to get a permit, so getting a permit is not a solution as it currently exists.
Right.
And then in order to get it in compliance, which the city is asking for it to be in compliance by March 13th.
Yeah, that's 30 days. I'm hoping we wouldn't need any more, but if there's a way I could get a little more time, it might work, because we're doing whatever we can. And if nothing else, we're gonna have to have it taken down, even if we don't find somebody that buys it.
Well, the thing about the March 13th date is that's when I'm here again. That's when we have another, hearing
So if
date.
you get extended more than 30 days?
It can. It can. I don't,
I don't think we'll need it, but it'd be nice to have it to where I can make sure I'm not worried that I have to hurry up and get something before they come after me again.
so the next hearing after March would be April 10, and I could give you till, let's say, April 3rd.
Yeah.
You think you could get it removed by then?
Yeah,
If somebody
sure.
could buy it, or,
If nothing else, I'll have them come and take it down. In fact, I'm gonna call one of the big managers for Superior Sheds tomorrow morning and see what he can do to help in the thing, and see if, you know, but so far, they haven't come up with anybody that's wanting one.
Yeah.
And so far, the people that I've come up with all live in the city, and, you know, there's several people in my neighborhood said, yeah, but after what you've done, we don't need to put it on our property.
yeah, well, you were the test case, I guess. All right, sir, is there anything you wanted to say?
No, just about the time, it would give us a little bit more time to show it while it's up, because people can judge it, you know what I'm saying?
Right. I'm certainly not going to encourage you to keep it up to be in non-compliance, but I am going to give you until April 3rd to have it
That'll be fine.
completely removed.
And I'm sure that if we haven't sold it, it will be removed by then, and I'm gonna get this guy to help, if nothing else, give us money to buy it from us.
Yeah. Okay, I'll go ahead and give you your pictures back. For the record, these are 2 photographs provided by the plaintiff, or by the respondent. One showing the driveway and the carport without a vehicle, and one showing the carport with a large vehicle underneath it.
Yeah, and you can see also, if you look, you can see, we had that roof replaced 3 years ago, and we got the roof to match it. And that's one thing everybody said, they loved our roof, they came by and told us that after we got it done. then when this went up, they said, wow, that's cool.
No.
And of course, we love it, but unfortunately,
Right.
it's not that easy to put on a cover on that big a truck. I think it's a Colorado, it's not the big one, but still.
Right, right. They can't get you on the record when you're standing up here, so that's okay.
We're done.
All right, does the city have anything to add?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and accept the city's Exhibit 1, which is the notice of violation and affidavit of service. Exhibit 2 is the city's notice of hearing and affidavit of service, and Exhibit 3 is the city's cost recovery. The city has requested costs in the amount of $110.92. What I'm going to do is reserve a final decision on the costs. And if you are in compliance by the April 3rd date, then no costs will be imposed.
Okay.
And I'll go ahead and order, I'll find that you were given notice of this hearing after consideration of the determination of fines under Florida statutes. I will find that you are in violation of the Section 6-56 permit required for the carport, and give you a compliance date of April 3, 2023, or if it is not in compliance by April 3, 2023, a fine in the amount of $50 per day will run for each and every day that the violation continues.
I'll tell you, we will be in compliance on that date, and Frank will make sure, as soon as it's down, we'll be letting Frank know.
And you will let him know as soon as you have taken it down or gotten it removed.
Yes.
Let the code officer know that it is done so he can confirm that you are in compliance and hopefully not have to come back in April.
Yeah,
All right. And reserving ruling on the costs.
thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, ready for the next one? Who?
Yes, ma'am, we have one more. Mr. Davis is here to represent his property at 302 Willow Street, which is case number 2310.
Okay, Officer Wright,
Good afternoon.
good afternoon.
I have 3 exhibits to enter. First one is the affidavit for the notice of violation. The second one is the affidavit for the notice of hearing. And the third is the cost recovery statement in the amount of $216.58.
Okay. Exhibit 1 will be the city's notice of violation and affidavit of service. Exhibit 2, the notice of hearing for today and affidavit of service. Exhibit 3 is the city's request for costs and their cost recovery sheet totaling $216.58.
All right, so this is the initial hearing for case number 2310. The respondent is Brian Davis. The violation address is 302 Willow Street, Titusville, Florida, 32780. That is also the mailing address for all the notices. There are 5 violations. The first one being section 13-28. This is for trash and rubbish. Section 12-23, machinery, scrap lumber, etc. Section 6-109, subsection 302.7. This is the accessory structure, which is a screen enclosure. Section 6-109, subsection 303.1. This is for the water in the swimming pool. And finally, section 6-109, subsection 303.2. This is the enclosure around the swimming pool.
Hang on one second, because the agenda has different
Is it out of order?
They just have different violations on the agenda.
We had dead tree instead of the enclosure.
1328 is called dead tree on the agenda, that's trash and rubbish. 1223 is the junk and debris.
Yeah, we don't have 303.1 on there. So that's sanitary pool. And
303.1 was not on there?
It's not, it's just not on the agenda. It's on your notice of violations.
Yeah,
That's-
Okay.
it's in the notice, it just, I did not transpose it into the,
And so, just want to make sure we give everyone proper notice of the violations. 302.7 is the screen enclosure, 303.1 is the pool, 303.2. And that's.
That
That's-
303.2 is the swimming pool enclosure,
Enclosure,
a fence around the swimming pool.
there's no fence, is that the issue? And 1223 is the junk and debris, machinery, parts, scrap parts, etc. Okay. And there's no 304.3, correct?
No, not on this one.
Okay, it's just the agenda. Okay.
So the initial inspection was completed February 10th, 2022. They were given until March 11th, 2022 to comply. The notice of violation was mailed on February 10th, 2022. Certified mail was delivered and signed for by the owner on February 16th, 2022. Notice of hearing was posted at City Hall and on the property at 302 Willow on February 1st, 2023. First class and certified letters were sent on January 4th, 2023. Certified mail was returned unclaimed, unable to forward on February 2nd, 2023. So this property was originally observed to have an unsecured in-ground swimming pool in the backyard. The gate in the chain link fence was observed standing open. The screen enclosure around the pool area is in disrepair, missing screens, the doors don't close. The water in the pool was found to be a dark green-brown in color and so cloudy that you could not see the bottom of the pool. The yard was observed with grass and weeds over 12 inches in height, trash including but not limited to bottle, food containers, waste paper was scattered throughout the property. Also stored under the carport and inside the fence, the screen enclosure, were machinery parts, vehicle parts, construction materials. Pictures were taken for the file and a notice of violation was posted on the front door. So I have not had any contact with Mr. Brian Davis. I did make contact with Mrs. Carolyn Reed. She is the parent of the listed owner. I spoke to her by phone on several occasions, as well as meeting on site with her May 20th of 2022. We looked at the condition of the property and discussed plans for bringing the property into compliance. At that point, while we were on site, Ms. Reed had a cable with lock that she locked the gate and the chain link fence closed, securing the pool area before we left. Mr. Davis did not attend this meeting. So reinspection of the property found all violations still remain. The gate into the pool area has been observed open, standing open on multiple occasions.
Even after it was locked?
Even after it was locked. No work has been started to repair the screen enclosure. Water in the pool remains a dark brown and cloudy, and the amount of trash, junk, and debris on the property has increased since the initial inspection. So for section 13-28 for violations, it is unlawful for any person, manager, or owner to allow debris, rubbish, trash, tin cans, paper, stagnant water, diseased dead trees to accumulate that may provide a nest or breeding grounds for mosquitoes, rats, etc. So this is the picture of the property taken from Willow Street. This is the carport where there is items being stored. It had been covered under a tarp, but multiple storms have torn that tarp open, and it is standing. This is the front of the house taken from Capron. The yard is filled with just various amounts of different trash and debris. Loose papers, waste, food waste containers. So this is the front driveway. This is the side yard. It's hard to see with all of it, but the trash cans are overflowing. There's recycled materials, loose trash all over the ground, paint cans, things of that nature. In the background, same thing. We've got recycle cans, things of that nature, glass scattered across the yard and around the inside of the chain link fence. This is the garage, the detached garage. Again, we've got glass piled up outside of the garage. So for machinery, this is referencing junk, scrap metal, scrap lumber, discarded building materials, abandoned vehicles, parts, machinery, and other waste material. So this is the pile of pallets in front of the garage behind the chain link fence. This is an old smoker or grill. It's deteriorated, it's starting to collapse and fall in on itself. We've got engine parts, old lawnmowers, we've got a refrigerator standing. So under 302.7 for accessory structure, the accessory structure including detached garages, fences, and walls shall be maintained structurally sound and in good repair. Again, this code section is referencing the screen enclosure. It's missing 90% of its screens. There is a door. There's two doors into the screen enclosure. They remain standing open. They don't close by themselves or anything. They don't contain any screens. So 303.1 for swimming pools. Swimming pools shall be maintained in a clean and sanitary condition and in good repair. This is the dark brown water in the pool. So for the enclosure, private swimming pools, hot tubs, spas containing water more than 24 inches deep shall be completely surrounded by a fence or barrier not less than 48 inches tall above finished grade. Gates and doors in such barriers shall be self-closing and self-latching. So in this case, this property does have a chain link fence that surrounds the side yard and rear yard that has the pool in it, but the gate stands open. The ordinance requires the gates to this section to self-close and self-latch and lock, and it does not. It stands open.
Are there children that live at this residence?
Not at this residence, but in the area. Yes,
There are
ma'am.
children in the neighborhood?
So the conclusion of facts for this case, for section 13-28, we're referencing the trash, rubbish, loose debris accumulated on the property. For section 12-23, the machinery parts, junk, including machinery, vehicle parts, scrap lumber, construction materials, appliances on the property. 302.7 for the accessory structure. The screen enclosure around the pool is in disrepair. It's missing and has torn screens, and the doors are broken. For 303.1 swimming pools, the water is unsanitary. The bottom of the pool is not visible due to algae or bacterial growth remains of plants or debris floating in it. And 303.2 for enclosures. Since the screen enclosure is in disrepair and the gate in the chain link fence is not self-closing and self-latching, it leaves the pool area unsecure. So recommendations, we are requesting the respondent be ordered to correct the violations on or before March 10th. To correct the violations, repair the pump and filter system for the in-ground swimming pool so the water is returned to a sanitary condition. We are requesting the screen enclosure be repaired. The fence enclosure around the pool must be returned to operational conditions, including gates being self-closing and self-latching. Removal of all trash, rubbish, junk, machine parts, materials, etc. from the property. We are requesting the respondent be assessed administrative costs in the amount of $216.58. And if the respondent does not comply by March 10th, it is being requested that a fine of $50 per violation per day be imposed.
So, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 violations. So that would be 150, okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone who would like to speak on this case? Can you give me your name and your address?
Brian Davis, 302 Willow Street.
What would you like to tell me about these violations we just heard?
Well, I have a pump for my pool getting ready to be installed. All the rubbish and stuff around the house is being cleaned up.
Okay. And what about there's not much that concerns me more than an unsecured pool
Mm.
in a residential neighborhood.
Yeah.
So what can you do to get that fixed right away?
Been trying to keep the fence around the property closed, the gate itself where you can walk in and out, and make sure to keep that closed. And therefore, if that's closed, and nothing can get in the property.
Okay, so the code officer has suggested that you come into compliance by March 10.
Okay.
Well, I don't have a problem with that for the junk and debris and the machine parts and even the cleaning the pool. I don't have a problem giving you that much time for that, but I can't for the unsecured pool. So that gate, I'm gonna give you a different compliance date for that.
Yeah, I actually have it under a lock, a padlock right now.
Okay, I don't know, she had testified that one had been put on, but it keeps, when she's gone back to inspect, it's open again, so. Is this a different lock you've got on there now?
It is, yes.
Okay. Okay, all right, is there anything else you'd like to add?
I don't guess not.
Okay. All right, anything else from the city? Okay. At this point, I'm going to find that you have been given notice and you were present for this hearing, that there is a violation of the 5 mentioned code, and the one that is most concerning to me is the 302, where is it? 302.303.2. 303.2. On 303.2, today is the 13th. I'm going to order that the gate be secured by the 17th, which is Friday.
That's fine.
And you're here today, so I'm not sure when you'll get a copy of the order, because I have to write it, then I sign it, and then it goes to the
That's
city,
good,
and
three
then they
steps.
mail it out. But I'll let you know that please have that gate secured by the 17th, and then let the officer know so she can come out and confirm that that one is complied with.
Okay.
So that is a March 17 date, and that's going to carry.
February?
I'm sorry, February. Thank you, council, for keeping me in check. That fine is going to, I'm going to assess a fine of $250 per day for that violation if it does not come into compliance by Friday.
Okay.
On that one alone. For the remaining violations, I'll go ahead and agree with the recommendation of the officer that they come into compliance by March 10. And each one of those, what was your recommended? Oh, $50 a day. And the recommended amount of $50 per day per violation. So that would be 4 violations at $50 per violation per day. If you do not bring those into compliance by the March 10 date. And then please go ahead and contact the officer when those other violations are all taken care of, so that you don't have to come back the following month
Okay.
to have a compliance hearing. I am going to impose the costs of $216.58. I do think that some of these are pretty serious violations, so hopefully you can get them all cleared up
Okay.
within the time. Do you have any questions?
You said you want me to contact the officer. Who do I contact?
The officer right behind you.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. And she may have a card for you, and she does. All right.
All right.
We're all set. Thanks
Okay.
very much.
Thank you.
Depending on your schedule,
Let's do it.
okay?
If we can get them quickly, I know we've got several compliance ones. Are we going to the front?
2249, the address is 605 Cheney Highway. This is a Massey hearing, and Officer Wright will present.
All right. Do you have a notice of hearing for today?
I do.
I will take that as Exhibit 1. All right, we can dispense. I recall this property. Can you let me know if it has come into compliance? And
They have done nothing.
nothing. So all of the violations are still in compliance. We had interior maintenance, roof, and exterior maintenance.
Yes, they have done nothing. The interior, the exterior shows from the last time we were here. There's even more damage on the exterior. I see the roof lifting in places. And then interior, so that's from October 4th of last year, and, well, come on. Nothing's been done interior.
Have you had any contact with the owners or property manager or anyone?
An email came this afternoon around 12:35 from Scott Flappinger, one of the partners with a AMW. He explained he's been having issues with the partners. They haven't come to an agreement for funding, but has stated that they have not done anything.
And he is not here today, correct? And they have had representatives in the past.
Yes, Jeff, I want to say it was
Sultan.
Sultan, appeared at the previous hearing, and let me pull that page back up. There we go. So, yes, Jeff Sultan provided testimony at the last Massey hearing. On November 14th, 2022. At that meeting, an order was issued tabling the compliance hearing and extending the compliance date to February 12th, which was yesterday. And if compliance was not achieved, then a fine of $50 per violation per day, starting retroactively on November 12th, 2022.
And that was for 2250, case 2250, or for both of them?
2249 and 2250.
Okay.
And
Do you have the same testimony as to 2250? No action done to correct the violations of interior maintenance, roof, and exterior maintenance?
correct.
Okay. All right. Yes, I did give them extra time to come into compliance. All right, anything else?
I also have your notice of affidavit for notice of hearing for
22.
case 2250.
I'll take that and make that exhibit 1. All right, thank you. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I was going to reserve on costs and then consider them at the next hearing, and they are not in compliance. They are not here. So we'll go ahead and impose the costs. All right, on this case, I'll rule that notice was provided on cases 22-49 and 22-50, which is the same ownership. No one has appeared on either case. Considering the testimony provided and the evidence provided, none of the violations, 305.1, 304.7, 304.1, which applies to both properties, none of them have come into compliance. Appears based on some discussion the officer had with the representative here before that they acknowledge they just haven't got their funding straightened out. So the fine will commence, and that will commence retroactive to November 12, 2022, and that was a fine of $50 per day per violation on both cases. And I will impose the cost of $234.19, which was the same for both cases, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
Okay. $234.19 imposed for 22-49 and $234.19 for 22-50. Anything else?
No, ma'am.
All right. Thank you. Okay, I'm ready for the next one.
Yes, ma'am. That would take us to 2251, 4305 South Hopkins Avenue, also a Massey hearing, and Officer Wright again.
So I have the affidavit for the notice of hearing for the Massey hearing
Okay.
for exhibit.
I'll take that into evidence as Exhibit 1.
So this is the Massey hearing for case number 22-51. The respondents were Molitor and Molitor LLC. The violation address was 4305 South Hopkins Avenue, and the violation was section 6-56, construction permit required. So the case was originally heard November 14th, 2022. The owner of the property was not in attendance, but Stephen Brody with Strickland Enterprises, the new tenant on the property, was present and did testify. The respondent was ordered to correct the violation on or before January 31st of 2023. And if appliance was not achieved, a fine in the amount of $50 per day commencing February 1st, 2023, and continue daily until the violation is corrected. And the respondent was assessed administrative costs in the amount of $234.19. So a reinspection of the property was completed on February 1st. The fence remains on the property per the building department records. The fence permit referenced during the previous hearing, 22-0646, now shows canceled. And no other fence permit applications have been submitted for the property at this time. So again, this is the picture taken January 4th, 2022. And this is the picture taken February 2nd, when the property was posted. So they have done nothing.
Okay. I'll find that the respondent was provided notice of the hearing. Respondent is not here today. The property did not come into compliance with the previous order, and fine in the amount of $50 per day will commence February 1, 2023, and costs will be imposed in the amount of $234.19.
One more.
One more.
Be case number 2253, 531 Rock Pit Road. And Officer Flanagan will provide his testimony in this case.
Officer Flanagan,
Hey,
what have you got to tell me?
this case, actually, you gave the respondent time to correct the problem. She has since sold the property. I'm just requesting it's going to be closed. I've contacted the new owner. The new owner's more than open to get it rehabbed and everything done. He's got contractors lined up, so I explained to him the situation, told him I'd re-fine him or re-notify him if he doesn't correct it.
Okay, so that's how the city wants it, the city wants to close it on the previous property owner?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, all right. So, I guess this case is closed and I won't make any ruling, or what, I mean, how do you want me to handle it if you're gonna just close it? And
You did reserve cost in that, so if you could just give us the order that it's closed.
okay, and impose the costs?
Yes. Okay, we won't impose the cost on this one.
Yeah, I think that complicates
These
things.
things, it does. So,
I'm gonna agree with you on that. All right, I'll go ahead and enter an order that the city has voluntarily closed the case due to the sale of the property.
yes, ma'am.
All right. And did we get all of them?
No, ma'am, but there's still two remaining regulars.
I can't,
And
I can't.
one of them was pretty long. Well, actually,
Yeah,
we can start out next month with
Yeah.
those, as we have no Massey hearings to go, so we go straight to
Right.
initial.
well, maybe they'll be complied with by
And maybe
next
we'll
month.
have compliance by then.
Okay, thank you for accommodating me.
No worries, ma'am.
All right.
Absolutely, yeah.
See you next month.
All right.